Je jen pár značek, které jsou tak globálně známé jako McDonald's. Zlaté oblouky nás v obchodních centrech, na dálnicích nebo i v centrech měst lákají na hamburger, hranolky či něco jiného z rangu potravin, kterým se říká fast food. Kam až může takzvaný mekáč v Česku růst? V čem jsou Češi specifičtí zákazníci a jak vnímá celá skupina svoji zodpovědnost vůči zdraví populace? Na to i mnohé další se dnes zeptám Yuliye Badritdinové, generální ředitelky McDonald's pro Česko, Slovensko a Ukrajinu v dnešních Hráčích. Já, Verou Renovicou. Thank you for being here.
Děkuji za pozvání.
You have been part of the McDonald's brand for over 14 years. Is that right?
Yes, I will celebrate 15th anniversary in May 26.
Do you remember your first contact with the brand?
Like ever or in McDonald's?
Yes, ever. Like personal.
Personally. So I was a student. It was a couple of McDonald's already opened in Kiev, and obviously we didn't have that much money, so we couldn't. I remember that we couldn't buy everything. We couldn't buy Coke, for instance, but we could buy something like hamburger or ice cream or coffee in a branded cup, which was fancy. So that's I remember, and it was in the center in Kiev, in Hráčích, which is the main street. So this was our main meeting point, and also like super fancy if you can buy something there.
So in the early 2000s, I believe that was.
Yes.
And in Ukraine, McDonald's was a fancy brand.
It was as everywhere. When we start, it's something new, something from US, something from different world. So it was always in the beginning very, very catchy for people.
Have you ever had to work at McDonald's as a student? Have you ever made fries, poured somebody lemonade?
Unfortunately not. I actually say unfortunately because I think that it's a great experience, but I worked for Coca-Cola, so it was a little bit close. So that when I was a student, I was in different promotions, so I was already in this direction a little bit.
Is there a stereotype that you believed about the brand that was shattered once you became working for McDonald's?
I think that once you became working for McDonald's, you become the lover of McDonald's forever. My biggest positive shock was around washing hands. So as soon as you part of the McDonald's, you understand that life will never be the same again. I think that people don't even imagine sometimes what kind of magic is happening behind the scenes. So for me, to work in McDonald's is always about, if it's for the crew, it's obviously new friends, really great communication skills, and if you are part of the system for a longer time, you become the ambassador of the brand because you know how everything is done inside, and it's an amazing world to be.
And the washing of hands, you were probably speaking about the fact that employees have to wash their hands frequently and regularly. Yeah. So is that something that you then started doing even as somebody who's in management?
So when anybody is joining McDonald's as the employee, even the office employee, we have a onboarding training program, and you should go to the restaurant within first 6 months for sure, but maybe within 3 months even. And depending on the position, it can be a little bit shorter, but not shorter than 3 days. And it can be a little bit longer. So I remember I joined McDonald's, and during the first 3 months, I was in the restaurant for the training. And actually, you have to work in all the stations. You have to understand how to fry fries and how to talk to customers and how to make an order. The most complicated, by the way, is to take the order in McDrive, because it's a lot of pressure. Like, people speak fast. You should understand correctly. So that was, I remember, a little bit like shock for me, how people can work like that fast. But the biggest surprise, and still I think that this is the most amazing thing about us, it's just the one piece of the whole world of McDonald's is the procedure on the washing hands. So within the first 30 minutes, when I was working in the kitchen, I washed my hands 17 times because we never even think how much we touch ourselves. Like we touch hair, we touch ourselves, like nose. Mm-hmm. As soon as you touch anything in your face, you have to go back and wash your hands because we are preparing foods with hands. And also the soap that we use is like actually the same type of soap that is used in the surgeries. So it's the whole thing about the washing hands was the biggest surprise for me and the biggest memory still from my first early days in McDonald's. And I think that this says a lot about our safety procedures.
Are you somebody who frequently eats at McDonald's?
Yes, I am. I think that I eat usually at least 2 times per week, depending where I am. In the Kyiv office, we have McDonald's exactly in the office, so it's a little bit easier. But in Prague office as well, very close, and in Bratislava office as well, we have in the office area. So it's very comfortable and very convenient to go and quickly eat something. And it's just like I just like it. Like I just like the food. It's even if I'm on vacation, especially when you travel somewhere, definitely you go and try something new.
Do you try your competitors, like fast food, quick service restaurant alternatives?
Frankly speaking, not that often. I know that many people are doing this more often than myself, and I know that my operations team probably is doing this because they have to sometimes. But I'm not the one who is like, I can go once. Like I've been probably in Burger King twice in my life, once in US and once in some airport. It's just like to try and to understand what kind of competitor it is, and that's it.
But you have a clear preference.
From the competition, I don't have any preference. So I always choose McDonald's if there is McDonald's. And if there is no McDonald's, I would choose something very local, like, I don't know, pizza in Italy or croissants in France.
What's your favorite order in McDonald's?
It's a double cheeseburger or double cheeseburger menu, depending on the hunger. Also McFlurry during summer, but double cheeseburger menu, very classic. I am a big fan of ordinary Coke, no Coke Zero. I feel the difference. Since my times, by the way, when I was in the Coca-Cola, when I was a student, I know the difference. I can feel it. And it's just tastier for me than the normal one.
Is there something in McDonald's that you used to eat a lot and you just can't even smell it anymore? You just like overate that particular product?
No, it's nothing like that. But I'm not like, it will be probably shocking for some people, but I just don't like Big Mac. So I eat Big Mac once per year, once per 2 years. I just don't like the sauce profile. So it's a lot of fans of this sauce, or those people who are kind of, oh, it's okay. So for me, double cheeseburger is the burger.
You are a mom. Have you always allowed your daughter to eat as much McDonald's as she wanted, or did you maybe try to balance it out?
No, never balanced out, especially when now she's the student and teenager, so she can go with the friends whenever she wants, and she even said, like, I can send you the reports how many GCs or how many transactions I did for you. Like, I'm doing the business stronger with my friends. But she started from fries, as far as I remember, or from ice cream, just a normal ice cone. And then I remember it was the ceremony moment when she tried the first Big Mac ever. And by the way, her go-to menu is a Big Mac menu. So she's the fan of Big Mac.
There is a notion that eating McDonald's in larger quantities or very often is not healthy. There's research that suggests an association between fast food, such as McDonald's has to offer, and weight gain, insulin resistance. What is your takeaway as somebody who represents and, as you already said, likes the brand, loves the brand?
I think that it's all about the balance, transparency, responsibility. So, and we are, as the big brand, definitely we are trying to create choices. First of all, we have completely transparent information about what is inside. We have the choices of the sizes of our menus. We have the choices of the sizes of the burgers. So it can be small burger, it can be bigger burger, for instance, can be salad. It's up to people. Like they are the one who decide. So we create some options. But we understand that DNA of the brand is the combination of the melted cheese with the beef patty and with the bun, and this is it. So as soon as people are okay with this, with these foundations, then they can choose how they eat and how often they eat. It's all about the balance, I think.
And do people eat differently? Since you introduced some other options, you said salads. I will order a wrap sometimes. There are ways in which you can make it a more balanced, nutritious meal. Have the orders changed? Because cheeseburger and fries, I think, are still your top ordered items.
Yeah. They are still our top, but I think that people choose variety, and our product mix is definitely developing. And we are adding some new things, and we have some seasonal things. We have something with vegetables, but then again, it's more about the taste usually. But even me, for instance, sometimes I just don't want to have bun because I already had one for the breakfast, and definitely I'm trying to be kind of responsible as well sometimes, and I can go only for the chicken nuggets, which is just a pure protein. That I can have also salad sometimes, but I love fries. So it depends on the occasion. If it's a craving moment for McDonald's, then it will be typical like fries and Coke. If it just I need to eat something and I know that I already had something heavy, so then I can change my my combination of the menu, or even have some single item. And the same for people. And I think that with the kiosks now, people can customize. So for instance, I know that and we know from the sales actually that people can customize. They can take out some ingredients like sauces. They can take out some, I don't know, usually it's onion, or they can add also vegetables like tomatoes can be added in majority of the products. So that's about the opportunity we create, and then it's up to people to decide.
It's up to people to decide. But what about kids? You market to kids, right? You offer Happy Meals with little toys inside. Is there a sense of responsibility maybe toward making those meals a little lighter, a little healthier? Maybe it's something that has already happened, and
we offer the main offer is actually chicken nuggets, and we have a juice. So again, Happy Meal is definitely a smaller portion. It's more balanced. We have some global requirements to the menu that we offer. We cannot just like do whatever we want in the Happy Meal because it's actually the responsibility of the company. But again, it's up to the parents how often and what they give to kids, and what they can even choose what to give them from the box, just to give one thing or two things. I remember when I was my daughter was small. She could take only, for instance, fries and toy, and then I could finish something else. But that's up to the parents to guide. And obviously, when they are becoming elder, again, they have choices in the kiosk, so they can navigate.
What kind of data do you gather from restrictive politics? Because in 12 EU countries, Hungary, France, Finland, Poland, UK, to name a few, there is some kind of a higher taxation system for sugary drinks. Mm-hmm. And there is now an all-European Union initiative to tax sugary drinks, ultra-processed foods, etc. What is your opinion on this? Is this effective?
It's hard to say. I know that what we're trying to do, we're trying as a company constantly working with our suppliers and with our ingredients to make them better to like we at certain point we took all the artificial ingredients from some products, so we don't have them anymore. We're decreasing constantly like sugar content if it's possible in our buns, for instance, because obviously in buns you have some sugar. We are working with the Coke, so we suggest people to choose Coke Zero, but then people like me just want to have like the normal one. That's my choice. Then I will not eat something else later. And salt as well. So like, we are trying to decrease as the responsible company, but at the same time we respect the law. And as soon as something is there, so we obviously follow in, and we are trying. We usually are very proactive, so we never wait until something will be implied and I don't know, like some limitations will come or some extra things. Like we're trying to be ready upfront, and we have very rigorous usually approach to everything. So we are much stricter than majority of the legislations. Obviously, there is some consideration from the governments what they are trying to achieve. I don't know if it works, because you can restrict this way, but then people will go and buy something else with sugar. So sugar is tasty sometimes.
What motivated the management to say we will pull plant-based options from the menu? This is a change that occurred sometime in September in the Czech Republic.
So, like, we experiment with the menu constantly, looking what our customers actually choosing, and we saw that the sales were not that huge. So it was some definitely portion of our customers who used to choose plant-based, but at the same time it was a huge demand for the return of the fish. And it's sometimes, you know, as everywhere, you have some limitations of the production area. So you have to choose what to offer and why. And we just analyzed what will be more preferable. We listened to the customers through social media. We saw that people are asking us for returning of the fish, so we decided, okay, let's go with fish, and then let's see if people will be very disappointed that they don't have their offers and fish will not be so popular. Then we go back. We are very flexible. We are constantly trying to understand what's going on. We're looking for the reports, and then we decide. And sometimes we decide proactively. So far, we see that not many disappointed customers. They have some other choices, and fish is still in our portfolio because right now it's still popular. So we will see later. But what we see definitely, and it's I think that it's a little bit overall universal trend. It was some moment when it was a notion to go for the plant-based, and it was some like kind of a saturation of the markets everywhere. In some countries it's a little bit more consumption, in some countries less. But generally, there is a certain threshold which is not very high, and somehow people said, like, yeah, no, probably we go back to our other orders, or they choose something else. But we don't see the huge demand in this area.
Is this a particular trend, and maybe even more trends? Is there a common thread between the three markets that you represent? Czech Republic, Slovak Republic, Ukraine. Are these three markets similar? Even when we speak about the plant-based variants, or even
if we speak about plant-based specifically, I think that is still a little bit more demand in Czechia than Slovakia, than Ukraine. But it's more or less on a low level. There is obviously differences because we have all different styles and heritage of our traditional cuisines and everything. But it's a lot of similarities. Like still, the core menu of McDonald's is popular in all the countries, not in all three countries I am responsible for. So people are choosing majority of times Big Mac, double cheeseburger, all the core things. And there are some differences, and we are trying to meet those demands. Like, for instance, now we have Serva Sezona, which is a repetitive campaign season in Czech Republic and Slovakia. And in Ukraine, we have Ukrainian season, which is happening starting from August usually. And it's also specific products that Ukrainians used to like. So we have some differences.
Some business websites have also been reporting that poultry or chicken-based items are becoming just as popular as beef-based items in McDonald's. Do you expect there to be a large shift from beef toward poultry in the next couple of years? Because McDonald's started as a beef-based restaurant chain.
And this is a big long-term, I think, shift that we see. It's across the globe. It's not something which is only in our countries. People generally prefer chicken more and more. And in some countries, we have more than 50% of our portfolio is actually chicken already. And it's a global strategy of McDonald's. So we want to be loved in chicken, same as we are loved in beef and with our core products, and we actually are already. So if you just look to our product mix, you would see that people are choosing chicken more and more. They still choose beef because they like the classics. And it's interesting that, for instance, Czech Republic is a lot about pork, or in Ukraine it's about chicken, beef as well. Slovakia is somewhere in the middle, but it's just a universal trend. So chicken is a little bit lighter. It's like people like this protein. So we are going to introduce more and more, and this is something that we see that people expect. We go over that.
When we overlook the COVID slump, you are growing and growing in the Czech Republic. Last year, you grew 11% compared to 2023 with a profit of over 10 billion Czech crowns. So what do you contribute this to, except the fact that the number of restaurants are growing? So that is logically bringing in more revenue. How are you succeeding in bringing this much profit?
McDonald's, it's a volume business. It's not something like we can. It's not only about opening new restaurants, but it's also about how many customers we serve in our current restaurants. And every year we offer something new. We try to attract them with some other things, and we obviously extending the footprint of the network, and we open in some new areas where we were not accessible. So it's both current restaurants growth, and first of all, it's the growth of the base of the customers in the current restaurants, not only opening the new restaurants. And it's true that the competition is also very active, but it looks like McDonald's is doing something a little bit better and faster. So our customers are loyal to us, and we have more and more new customers who usually choose us.
Do you feel like the fast food market, if I call it like this, in the Czech Republic is almost insatiable? You keep opening more and more restaurants. You have, I think, 130 right now in the Czech Republic. Is there room for 130 more in the next 5 or 6 years? Because you also spoke about the competition. Five Guys are starting out. Popeyes is starting out. It seems like an ever-growing market.
Yeah, looks like Czech Republic is quite attractive. So we see the potential here. And if 5 years ago we were thinking more about the big cities and big traffic areas, highways, right now we see the potential in the smaller cities as well, and we are going there. It's all connected to the economy, and as soon as the countries are developing and GDP per capita is growing, so that's how we usually understand that we have the potential more. I don't know if it's 130 restaurants more, but probably like 50% we definitely can increase the next 5 years, so 6 years. And our number of restaurants we are opening actually accelerated for the last couple of years. So this year we will open between 7 and 10 restaurants, and next year between 10 and 15. And this is the pace. And we used to open 2-3 restaurants. So this is the pace right now.
So in about 5-6 years there could be 200 McDonald's.
I think so.
In the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Your competitor, main competitor, in fact, at least in the Czech Republic, KFC, had a number of bad moments in the press in the past couple of months due to unsanitary practices, and particularly cooking with meat that was overdue. When you see a scandal this bad, What is your reaction? Do you believe that it negatively affects the entire area of your business, or does it draw customers that would maybe eat at KFC to go to McDonald's instead?
You know, we obviously like looking around and we know what's going on, but we always focus on ourselves. So you can change only what you can change, and you can make yourself better constantly. And I cannot answer on the competition, but I can definitely reassure that in our case, we are super committed to the safety of our food and the quality of the food, and the way how we treat it. As I told you about this story about hands, it's kind of a still some impression I'm carrying for 15 years, but we have a lot of this kind of very rigorous procedures in the restaurants, how we check everything, and we have more and more digitalization in the kitchen, so we track more and more, and it's less dependent on the people, it's more dependent on the technology, which is great because people can focus on doing a great food and serving customers and smiling. Like whatever happens, even nothing is happening with the competition or with the market, we have our process, we have our consistent procedures, and we just follow them, and that's it. So this is our commitment to the customers. And by the way, during COVID, McDonald's was so successful because people easily realized that if McDonald's can be so serious about safety of the food, so probably they can be the same serious about safety of the people. So that's why I think it was quite a quick click that, okay, we have like all the masks, all the protections, all the procedures, and you probably remember that it was queues to McDonald's on McDrive or some windows we created, and that's why, because it's we never do anything like, okay, there is a scandal, let's do something right now. We are doing, like, it's a long-term business. We are doing it every day and for many years, and that's the only success we can have.
So you didn't have a reaction. You didn't ask your license holders to allow you access into restaurants to do any checkups. We have as a reaction to the KFC scandal.
It's a standard process. There is a cycle how we check everything. There is no need to suddenly change anything, because it's just like we have some touch points, we have some audits, we have external audits, and we just go our way because we know that we are 100% confident that everything works. And our license partners obviously very responsible, and this is the basics of the system. So.
And what about the revenues? Was there any change in your license holders' restaurants' revenues due to KFC? Did you see any customers going maybe to you because they wanted a fast food option, but they had either a temporary or a long-term distrust in a brand, in a different brand?
We don't see any big dramatic influence, again, because we have our own activities, and the market is overall, like the performance of the market, the economy, which is much bigger things which influence. So we don't see any direct contribution on that. But like we see that, for instance, when Syrovka started, everybody were running there. Like yesterday, France started. So I think that it will be a little bit more customers over weekend. So it's very hard to understand even sometimes if there is any other incremental change.
When I took stock of the social media, I saw some TikToks and posts, some of them international, some of them local, accusing McDonald's of shrinkflation, adjusting the size of the product, especially the beef, fish, or chicken patties to better the profit. Have you resized any product officially?
No. That's an interesting thing. And I hear this for 15 years, obviously, that even from my friends sometimes, like that, oh, Big Mac started to be smaller. And I said, like, you became bigger. It's not. It's Big Mac never changed for the last, how old is Big Mac? It's like around 60 because it's 1968 born. So we never changed the size of the patty. It's 1 to 10 ounce, I don't remember what is there, but it's always the same weight. And the grills, you cannot adjust in some specific restaurant or in some specific country, because grills and all the equipment and setup of the equipment automized, and you cannot change it, and it's already produced like that from the couple of suppliers in the world who actually do this. So you cannot do any like small things in the place, but we didn't resize it.
McDonald's is also, thanks for clarifying this, by some not as affordable as it used to be. The popular cheeseburger, there used to be a trend that cheeseburger only cost 20 crowns. Now it costs 49 crowns, which is €2, from 33 crowns in 2021, which is a 50% increase in 4 years. Are you planning on changing the prices, making them even higher perhaps next year? Will there be any changes?
Value and affordability, actually, it's also part of our DNA. Same as a taste, this is the other part of our DNA. And I think that if we talk about differences in Czech Republic specifically, we know that people are very sensitive to those things, and they care about price, they care about offers, about discounts. So we are very carefully looking what should we do and why. And definitely, you remember the crisis, the energy crisis in end of 22, beginning of 23. It was the highest inflation in Czech Republic, almost the highest in Eastern Europe, or in Europe probably, 17% if I remember correctly. And it was a couple of years like that. And definitely now finally slowing down. So it's just like we usually never go higher than inflation. So like, everything is more expensive than we have to, because we are paying salaries, and it's like we are responsible employer. We have to pay the salaries according to the market, and like we obviously cannot downshift our quality. So we have our certified suppliers, and if they have to raise the cost, we have to somehow react as well, because our franchisees, our licensed partners, they have to have a sufficient amount of money. It's about the healthiness of the whole system, because then they can invest and we can have the better experience for the customers. So what we are trying to do always, we are trying to keep prices as affordable as possible. So for this, for instance, we have the global sourcing, and it's again volume business. So we're trying to have the best offers from our suppliers, and then to address to our customers as minimum as we can. And if you see that there is a need, we have special offers. We have we have nice price combo, for instance, which is 2 for you. So sometimes it's very popular for the students. They usually buy and choose those, or Mac menu, which is discount around 20%, sometimes higher. So we are trying to do some good things for people, but obviously, if the costs are going up, we have to raise prices sometimes. And you know that recently, a couple of times, the labor market was also reshuffled. It was some changes in the minimum wage, so some other requirements. So we are trying to be as affordable as possible, but as well healthy business.
So if you say that you follow the inflation, that means that you could go over the 50 crown combo per cheeseburger next year. I don't know yet. We don't have such a precise plans per each menu item, but we definitely monitoring, and we're trying to be very reactive. We never proactive with the pricing. So first, we see what's happened with the inflation, then we see how the customers are reacting, and then only after that we go with the prices. So a little bit later than the customer actually understand, everything is started to be a little bit more expensive, and then hopefully the employers also raising salaries for the people. Of all the countries that you represent, the Czech Republic is unique in being franchise only, or license holder only in the correct terminology. For the viewers, that means that private persons own individual restaurants based on licenses acquired from McDonald's, and they have to adhere to a number of rules, including what they put on the menu. Why is the Czech Republic franchise only, historically?
It was not always like that, and in different countries we have different approaches. So, for instance, in Belgium as well, we have only franchise market, and vice versa. In Ukraine, we have completely owned by the company. It depends on the cycle of the development of the market. And in our case in Czech Republic, some time ago, we realized that from the size of the business and from the quality of the execution, it works very well with the franchisees. So we realized, okay, franchisees are doing a great job. So why wouldn't we consider them for everything? And this is the whole McDonald's business approach is about franchising. We definitely have in some countries some own stores, but it should be also sufficient number of the stores. Like we have just 133 right now, I think. So it wouldn't be sufficient enough to have something like 10 restaurants or 5 restaurants. And like this is one thing. And the other thing that, like when you have the owner who's always in the restaurant, and that's exactly what we expect from our licensed partners. And that's exactly how they behave. So they always in their restaurants. It's just much better results for the business because you care, that's yours. And that's why we decided to go like that now. But the strategy can change if we will see the need. There is no need right now. We have good franchisees and we are hiring more franchisees right now because we are opening more restaurants.
How expensive is the license at the moment? News outlets report everything from 11 to 60 million crowns, which is between 450,000 euro to 2.4 million.
As far as I remember, you have to have 15 million Czech koruna. It's like entrance. And you obviously can have a loan in the bank. And with the Czech economy is still quite a good offer of the license. I think that McDonald's pluses is not only affordability of the license or balanced affordability of the license, but it's also like we proved that for many, many years, whatever happens, on the longer run, McDonald's is always successful. So it's very hard to lose money with McDonald's. It's very, very trusted partner. If you become a part of the system, we call it three-leg stool. So we are kind of ground ourselves to the company, our suppliers, and our license partners. As soon as you are part of this community, there is a stability there because stool is something that is stable, right? If it has a proper three-leg, there are some ups and downs, as usually everywhere, but generally it's a very successful, proved over the last 70 years.
So generally, when as a license holder you open a McDonald's restaurant, it doesn't close. It keeps going.
It keeps going, and if there are any troubles, we are there for the partners as well. So we are.
You won't allow them to fail.
No. That's the last what could happen. Never happened in my career so far. But I think that the system doesn't allow you to lose. So obviously, it can be some bad years and good years, and some restaurants can be suffering sometimes because there is a road reconstruction. You know how many road reconstructions we have in Czech Republic. But in the longer way, and it's a 20 years contract, it's always successful.
And the price of the license, you said the potential license holder has to have 15 million out of pocket and then he can take a loan. But what is the sum amount?
Oh, it's hard to say. It's very much depends on the location, on the sales. If it's a current restaurants, it used to be when we had our own corporate restaurants. And it was some time ago. Obviously, sales were different. It was one amount of money. Right now, it's. I cannot answer you because it will be misleading. Because it's also depends. The current franchisee can evaluate their restaurant and business in a certain way, and we obviously helping and calibrating. But if they sell to the new franchisees, it can be different prices. And very much dependent on the location as well. If it's a completely new restaurant, it's a little bit different story, but it's, you know, it's from one hand it's harder because it's hard to start the business in one new place. But from the other hand, it can be a little bit cheaper because it's not working business yet. So you don't have the proved history of the sales, but at the same time you have to build everything. So it's hard to answer, but it's not cheap.
Is it true that up to 20% of the restaurant's earnings go to McDonald's? Is it more?
No, that's not what I recall. The rent is vary from the location to location. Very much reflects the current economic situation. Very much reflects how long the restaurant is there, and we are reviewing also rent after 20 years. We can review sometimes earlier if there is a need, but I think it can be very different. I cannot say 20% is like we have in some cases, but it's not common.
How much control do you have over the wages and working conditions in individual restaurants? Is that something that is part of the handbook that you give to the license holders and say, this is how much these people will earn, this is what their shifts will look like?
Yes and no. So no for the wages, but like they have to be compliant with the minimum wage, with all the benefits that like country actually have in the requirements, and but we have some kind of a handbooks around framework and principles. So it should be respected, respectful environment. It should be some minimum benefits. It should be obviously all the labor law compliance and like minimum wage and like how long they can be in the shift. All the payments when they are off and vacations and everything else. Then the franchisee usually decides what kind of extra benefits they have, and it depends on the size of the organization and people. It's their people in the end of the day. Usually people like to work for franchisees. They know that it's a small family within McDonald's family, so they usually have some extra things, like they go together somewhere, they have some fun, and then franchisees usually very attentive to their staff because they know that it's about the mutual payback. But we have standards and we are checking them if everything is correct and according to the legislation, according to the McDonald's principles. We have trainings. We have we have the curriculum, which has there is some mandatory curriculum people should go through, and there is some optional when it's just learning and people can learn something new. But the overall system is global. It's called Hamburger University Online, and people can access as soon as you are employee of McDonald's. You have an access, and you can learn a lot of things. So we care about employees. We have some standards, but it's people of the organization of the franchisee, and it's his people.
I've read your profile. You believe in equal opportunities, inclusivity, and you champion the Ronald McDonald charities, which allow ill children to be housed with their parents in the vicinity of health facilities for the duration of their treatment. We already have one of these houses in Prague. Funds are being collected for another one in Olomouc. How many will there be in 10 years' time? What's the goal?
It's hard to say. McDonald's is the founding partner in Ronald McDonald House, but it's an independent charity. So they have their own global organization. They have their own local organization, the independent board of directors, supervisory board. So they have their own strategies and they have their own plans. Usually it depends on the needs of the country, how many hospitals, how many, there is some criteria how they calculate the need. Depending on, Czech Republic is not that big, but there are some specialized hospitals and there are some regions. So then obviously it will not be 50 houses, but it may be 5 houses. But then they have to have the proper financial stability. So it's a little bit interconnected with the fundraising piece as well. And I think that more and more people understand that it's not the charity which only McDonald's should support. It's actually everybody can support, because it's about Czech children, and it's about like them being with the parents when they are not in the best shape. So the mission is more like people more informed about the mission, and I believe that they will have proper funds, so they can be they can open more houses, because it's extremely helpful. So we know from the house in Motol how helpful it is, and some families live there almost 1 year, so they are waiting for something, for instance, that they have to be in the premise, like transportation or something else. There are like a lot of very heartbroken stories, but they are very helpful. So I'm happy that they are opening the second house, and I hope that they will be able to open more.
Is there a tendency to maybe widen the scope of the charitable things that McDonald's does? Some colleagues at work were interested in McDonald's investing in educating, especially kids, about proper nutrition, prevention of child obesity. Is this something that is in the works for the Czech Republic, or would it perhaps be deemed as inauthentic for you to do this?
I think that we, like with our impact strategies, or with what we are doing and how we put together our efforts, we are trying always to be as credible as possible and use our true to the brand things as well. And I think that the joy that we bring to the customers and especially children is something that we definitely have in our DNA. So we have something unique in Czech Republic, and in Slovakia we have McDonald's Cup, which is 27th. It will be 27th year of the tournament, and right now it's more than half of the elementary schools participating in that tournament, which is like a huge amount of kids are already engaged because it's fun, it's sport. So yes, it's not about directly nutrition, but it's about this balance. So for instance, if I eat in McDonald's for the last 15 years, much more than before, but I try to work out, I try to walk in Stromovka, I try to do something, like just to be in the shape. So this is our intention also, like how to encourage kids to do some sports. So in this case, it's football, and we have quite a successful story already. So we are doing such a good thing, and I think that we are even now thinking how to make it even more serious. It's already super serious, because you can really be in a national tournament, and then because it starts from the schools, then it's regional, then a national. So this is what we do. What else we do? I know that our franchisees are doing a lot in their communities. So they are supporting some initiatives, some sport initiatives, some other things. So we are trying to be where we can be, but to bring some joy and fun and the balance in this way.
You became CEO for McDonald's Czech Republic and Slovakia in 2022, after previously already being CEO for McDonald's in Ukraine. This cluster of regions is quite atypical. Usually if we have multinational CEOs, we are clustered with Poland, Hungary, and Slovakia, hardly ever with Ukraine. How did this come to be?
I think that it was a moment when the company just realized that we have a little bit similar stage of the development. So obviously we have a different ownership, we have different customers as everywhere, but those customers want more or less the same things. And the pace of the development of the chain, of the number of restaurants, potential, it's a little bit similar dynamics. So we now accelerate in opening of the restaurants in all 3 countries, and we have similar types of the problem. The markets for McDonald's are similar right now. Obviously, it's very different if it comes to the country size, because Ukraine is much bigger, and the potential there is higher. but this in the current, like right now, it's more or less similar type of the problem. So it was the decision: why wouldn't it be one leadership team who can tackle those challenges? Also, we had a balance of the talents and diversity of the talents, different knowledge from the system in all three countries, which is helpful. It's, you know, like talent is always the biggest question: how to find the best people who can actually be with, from one hand, should know everything about the system and McDonald's, know business, but at the same time be super proactive and progressive in new things. So this is it for now. And as soon as it works for McDonald's, like we are delivering it. I think that the biggest difference when it comes to how we talk to the customers, and this is what we are trying to ensure, that we have like proper offers here, that we know the customer, we know what the customer wants and how they want. And obviously our operations teams, they are here in the ground, so they talk to our licensed partners, they cooperate together. So it's a little bit unusual, I know, but from the business size perspective, it was reasonable. Poland is a very big country. It has completely different dynamics. They open a lot of restaurants, much more. So it's a little bit different from the business management perspective right now.
How is it in Ukraine now? How many restaurants had to be maybe closed, if temporarily, or I would say interminably, terminally, because of the invasion?
We didn't close anything permanently, but 15 restaurants remain closed in the east. So when the war started, we completely kind of stopped operations for some time, and then we resumed operation in September 2022, which was occasionally the same period of time when I arrived to Prague and started here. Learning the business, which was not an easy period, because it's a completely new countries for me, new cultures for me, and then it was resuming the operations in Ukraine. But gradually we reopened all the restaurants, and we already opened around 25 restaurants since the invasion, the new restaurants.
Fully new restaurants.
Fully new restaurants. And we continue opening as well, same pace, 10, 15 restaurants per year.
How risky is it operating in Ukraine? I mean, every time somebody wants a bank loan, I'm pretty sure that the financial institutions take stock of the fact that it's not a stable environment.
From the finance perspective, obviously, that's why we don't have franchising in Ukraine. It's a completely corporate market, so it's 100% US investments right now. Because of the volatility and inflation and interest rate, it's not possible to have a healthy and interesting offers right now for franchisees, so we're not considering franchising in Ukraine right now. So it's purely company openings, and from the financial stability, it's like it was always like that in Ukraine. In terms of the financial stability and inflation, it's always a little bit high inflated market. Obviously, it's a lot of restrictions from the safety perspective, but as I already mentioned, that McDonald's is very credible in terms of the safety of the food, safety of the people. So we have all the procedures in place, and the evacuation is happening now within 5 minutes. So as soon as the alert is on, we started with 15 minutes evacuation, and now people need 5 minutes to shut down everything, to ask people to leave the restaurant and evacuate themselves to the nearest shelter. It's a very different world, but we managed to find a way how to operate there already.
In the news cycle, we all remember the day of the attack on Ukraine in February 2022. Now, 3.5 years later, it's just no longer a topic that draws in readers and viewers as much. It's almost as we've all gotten used to the fact that there is a conflict 2 countries away, and almost like given up on caring. How does that feel for you as a Ukrainian, that the world maybe cares a little less?
You know, I'm obviously not here to discuss some like politics or something else, but I think that people learn how to live in these circumstances, and it's extremely hard, but the resilience is there. And even my team who works in Kiev, and sometimes after the attack and the bad sleep or no sleep, they start in the morning and they operate, you know. And we were discussing like, should we do something about this? But we know that if it was a very hard night, our customers are so appreciating if they go to the metro station and the McDonald's is already open, and we have even like a huge number of thank you cards and everything. Like it was so hard, and like you managed to open the restaurant. So some people were on the shift on time and open everything, and everything is up and running. But it's extremely important for the country. So our mission is to maintain this normality. And as soon as you feel the mission, as soon as you feel the impact, I think that you carry on. And it's a little bit similar question to the question about like if something happening with the competition, what is our reaction? And it's more or less maybe the same for the Ukrainians. What is our reaction that life is like that and everything is bad? We just carry what we can change, we change. What we can influence, we influence. What we can impact, we impact us. I am Ukrainian, but I'm responsible for all operations of the business, and I know how I can influence the lives of people. And I 100% know from real people and from real researchers that McDonald's has a huge meaning to the people, and the way how we operate. And for instance, right now is a blackout in Kiev, and there is no electricity, there is no heat. Well, we have queues, and I'm not happy about these queues. Like I you know, like it's good for the business, but I'm not happy because of the cost of these queues. But I know that how important for people to come to McDonald's and to have this place where they can find food, they can have a socket for charging their phone. This is the mission of the brand. And in different situations, it's a different mission. And if generally our mission to bring feel-good moment to the person during the day, and this is the best mission, and we want to have this one. But if sometimes we need to be something more, I'm happy to serve and to provide something more.
You moved to Prague, is that correct?
It's hard to say. I'm traveling between the countries, and it's not the easy life. I'm like majority of time is in Prague because my daughter studies at school in Prague. But my husband is in Kiev, so he cannot exit the country. He's under 60, so it's like, and he has his business there. So like we are a little bit family like that, you know, but I have the business there, so I have to travel to Ukraine as well.
I'm sorry for being personal, but you spoke about your husband. The conditions for being able to leave the country have constantly shifted and shifted because you never know when you will be called upon to join the army. Is this a big cause of stress for you personally, that he may have to serve?
That's, you know, like as soon as you have your values and you understand like that you are part of everything, you stay in the country, and this is his choice, and he stays in the country. But he can travel as he has a special permit for that for the business, and he has some business trips. But generally, what can I say? I think that everybody already accepted certain insecurities and certain, you know, like status quo of everything around, and everybody understand that this is the reality. You should just you should live like that, and like we are trying to go from there. So as soon as we can meet, we meet. But he's staying in Kiev. I'm working, and.
So basically, it's a choice.
It's a choice. It's a choice to an extent, yes. But from the career opportunity, it was obviously a good option for me. When I was moving, like when I was actually considering which city I would leave, to live permanently in Kiev and to travel to Czech Republic and to Slovakia would be a little bit complicated. The business in Ukraine is more familiar for me, so it's much easier for me to manage the business from outside of the country than it would be for Czech Republic and Slovakia. We have franchisees, and it's about people relationship.
I meant, speaking of your husband again, nobody intended to get this personal, but it's his choice to stay.
No, he cannot leave.
Because he has a permit. So if you wanted,
but you can leave just for the short period of time if you have the real business trip. So he can leave. But
I mean, you can leave and never return, right?
That's not in.
It's not legal,
it's not within the values of our family. So that would never happen.
And let's go back to the brand, but on topic. It used to be reported that one of the busiest McDonald's was in Moscow. Now that is no longer the case because the company ceased operations in Russia after the invasion. How was the economic impact for McDonald's of this decision?
Overall in the world?
Yes.
I think that McDonald's has a very clear decision tree, and the first one is the values. So as soon as we have the choice, the first is what our values are telling us. And we have the value out of 5, which calls doing the right things. That was the decision of the company, we were doing the right things. We were not thinking about the profit. Profit is in the next steps of our list. Usually we see in every decision, every day, when we are making some decisions, we are talking about values first, and then how it implies to the profits or something else, or opportunities. So that was the right decision. The company decided that that's the right decision, and that's it. And I think that the busiest restaurant in the world is in Hong Kong, I think.
Yeah, a colleague of yours told me that now it is in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
At what point does the McDonald's world headquarters see going back to that specific market, to the Russian market? What would have to happen? Do you have any idea, or is it just
I don't
so far distance?
It's completely out of my authority and even discussion. It's not probably even within the leadership team of McDonald's. It's a board decision as well. So I don't have a clue. I don't know when and what should happen. That's hard to say.
Thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you very much.
A my se těšíme s dalším hostem za týden. Nezapomeňte se dívat na blesk.cz, sledujte nás také na našem účtu na sociální síti X a nebo si nás pusťte jako podcast na Spotify. Na viděnou.